There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
RTU, beloved RTU, will be forever true to the golden blue. Forever true to the golden blue. Raise the banner golden blue, keep it flying high, symbol of our pledge to you to serve our people. Give the best of what we have, talent, skills, and strength. Offer every honor back to God and country, to God and country. RTU, beloved RTU, will be forever true to the golden blue. Forever true to the golden blue. Every knowledge we have gained, every skill we learn, and the values that we form will be our treasures. We shall meet here years from now, full of pride and joy. Break this code and nurture us and shape our future, and shape our future. RTU, beloved RTU, will be forever true to the golden blue. Forever true to the golden blue. RTU, beloved RTU.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. So, we are on the last leg of our Marketing Me for Rizal Technological University. So, today we will be joined by speakers from Task Us, Athena Go, and Probe. So, before we start, we'd like to invite everybody for the short prayer and a national anthem.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Alright, so welcome everyone. So let's start our today's talk, and I'll be your host. So to officially start our session for this morning, we'd like to call on Engineer Armando Matias, Director for Cooperative Education Center, to give us the opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this event, the third webinar series of the first phase activity in your COE program, as part of the university's effort to help you achieve your goals in securing your future jobs. Activities like this are highly encouraged despite the pandemic. In these events, you have given the opportunity to be oriented on the job you want to take up and how to prepare for your future employment. With these activities, you were inspired to work hard and commit to the pursuit of your future goals. Rizal Technological University, together with our academic industry partners, strive to instill to you, our dear students, to pursue your dreams. Teaching you to seize the day and to explore every opportunity will no doubt assist you in your journey and your path to succeed. With today's webinar, we have prepared 3 topics for you, namely, enhancing communication skills, top skills employers look for, and responsible social media use, to be shared to us by our high-caliber speakers from our industry partners. Will surely inspire and motivate you to become one of the best employees of the future. You are so blessed to hear directly from the experts themselves of their rich experiences. On behalf of the Rizal Technological University, through its Cooperative Education Center, would like to thank all our generous speakers for their utmost dedication and for sharing their expertise in preparing our students for their future employment. To our ever supportive and innovative Jobs180.com team for bringing our industry partners closer to us. To the Managing Director, Mr. Kim Chua, to the Academic Linkages Officers, Ms. Shari Mesto Samente and Ms. Joyce Katakutan, and the rest of the Jobs180.com team behind the scene. Thank you. To all our dedicated and committed COE coordinators, together with all the unit heads and staff of the Cooperative Education Center, thank you. Without your full support and assistance, this could not be possible. It is my sincere duty to thank and congratulate all of you for actively participating. And today, you are about to complete the webinar series, and I hope that you all have learned and realized many things that you may apply in the future. Listen attentively and participate actively. In ending, I would like to leave you with this quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Keep learning. Continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field. Once again, welcome to the final leg of your webinar series. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sir Dong. So, to our audience, I'm seeing all of your comments. So, keep them coming. We'd like to know your name and the course you're from. And if you have friends that are not here yet, please share this video with them. All right. So, here is our schedule for this morning. We will be discussing the following topics. So, we have enhancing communication skills to be presented by Taskas, top skills employers look for from Athena Go, and responsible social media use from the Pro Group. Shout out to everyone who is here and who is on time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't be shy to put in your questions as we go along, and so that we can address it to our speaker. So let's introduce our first speaker. So our first speaker is Mr. Erinel Sagnit. He is the sourcing specialist for TaskUs. He is a mass communications graduate at Holy Angel University, and he has 6 years of experience in teaching college students at SCI College San Fernando. He is also a freelance virtual assistant and content writer. So, if you're ready, Sir Nay, can you please join us? Hi, sir. Good morning.
Hi there, hi there. Happy Friday, Shari. How are you?
Happy Friday, sir. Sir, can we test your share screen?
Okay, someone from the background will be sharing my screen. Okay.
All right. Okay. Sir Nay, it's up. So I will leave the screen to you, and then I'll be back for Q&A in 10 minutes.
Thank you so much, Shari, and again, thank you so much for having us here. My name is Nay. I'm a multilingual sourcing specialist from TaskUs. Here with me is Kim in the backstage, who is of course in charge of the deck that will be presented today. And to start off, we will be presenting a short clip about our company TaskUs. Take it away, Kim.
12 years ago, two friends set out with $20,000 of their savings and built a virtual assistant company for startups on top of a mechanics shop. They named their company TaskUs. Thanks to everyone's hard work and providing teammates the best employee experience, TaskUs grew and spread across the globe. All were empowered with a mission to provide innovation and world-class services to the world's most disruptive companies. Finally, we are proud to announce our new look. We are moving beyond the blue. We have always embodied thinking outside of the box, and now we are stepping out of the chat box. Our new look reflects the evolved TaskUs, the company and culture that we have become. The new TaskUs logo reflects us and our commitment to inclusivity and togetherness, meaning us and you together. As one icon, the elements represent the digital prowess of our amazing teammates to reflect the array of services we provide today.
As a new industry approaches, let us reintroduce ourselves to the world.
Count on us to step up and continue to evolve as a company that can finally answer the call for protecting what matters most to those who count on us.
Finally, an organization that puts people before profits. Refreshing,
Smart,
creative.
intro.
That's TaskUs.
Okay, that is actually TaskUs. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim, for that short clip. Okay, who is TaskUs? I'll give you a very brief background about who is TaskUs. Okay, TaskUs is a provider of outsourced digital services and next generation customer experience to innovative and disruptive technology companies in the fastest growing sectors, including social media, e-commerce, gaming, streaming media, food delivery and ride sharing, high tech. We have fintech and health tech. And we are already 13 years in the industry. We are located in 8 countries across the globe, and we have 9 sites in the Philippines. And this is one fun fact: at least 5 apps on your phone are powered by TaskUs. Next clip, please. Okay, this is our award-winning culture includes these awards. I mean, here are just some of the awards that we got in the global arena. Okay, I will not be mentioning them one by one. I presume that you are seeing them already on your screen. Next, Kim. Okay, Taskus Philippines sites. We have like 9 sites here in the Philippines. On the north, we have in San Fernando, La Union, we call it Lighthouse. In Angeles, Pampanga, in Clark, for that matter, we call it House Teamwork. In Bulacan, in May Kawayan, we have FE, or the Fort Excellence. In down south, we have Imus Cavites Lizzie's Nuke. We also have one in Batangas City. We call it Lizzie's Lagoon. And in Visayas, we have in the Visayas region, we have the one in Tagbilaran, Bohol, and we call it Lizzie's Playground. Also in Antipolo and Rizal, we have Lizzie's Watchtower. In Bonifacio Global City, we have Lizard Bear Lair, and the one in Anonas, Cubao, Quezon City, we have Chateau Ridiculous. Okay. Here in Taskas, we are looking for teammates. We are not just looking for an ordinary agent, because here in Taskas, we call them teammates. We are not calling them agents, for that matter. Now, what are the qualifications if you want to be a part of the ridiculously fun culture of Taskas? One is you have to be 18 years old and above. Okay, with or without work experience is okay. Of course, excellent communication skills is very much needed. Computer savvy, you have to willing to work on a shifting schedule, and you have, of course, to be amenable to work on site and work from home. Next, these are the Taskas employee perks and benefits. One is the HMO that is extended up to 2 dependents. We have COVID-19 related medical coverage. We have food forward program on site. That means free food on site. We have human project. We have referral incentives. We have guaranteed paid time off, including birthday leave. Of course, let's not forget the state-of-the-art facilities. We have retirement savings program with company matching, scholarship program. We have shuttle service, especially for those who are working on site in this pandemic. This one is really very important today, especially we are facing COVID-19 pandemic. We normally have free wellness and resiliency programs extended to household members, and of course, tuition fee and professional development reimbursement program. Apart from those benefits, of course, we have these benefits as well. Salary ranges from, of course, may vary. It depends on the campaign. Okay, statutory benefits such as SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig, of course, are included, and OT premium and night differential are included as well as mandated by the law. So there. Today, to our viewers who are watching at home, of course, the topic for today is actually about communication skills and how important it is, and how do we actually enhance our communication skills. I mean, in this dog eat dog world where the competition is very stiff, um, we have to really be very good at in communication, in communicating with people. Okay, most companies, they prefer someone who knows exactly how to communicate, who knows exactly how to deal with clients and deal with people. Okay, today we'll be talking about enhancing communication skills. I hope you will learn something from this one. This is just going to be very quick. We prepared a few clips, I mean a few slides for you, and you can of course reserve your questions right after the presentation. Kim, next. Okay, what is communication skills? Communication skills refer to one's ability to convey and receive messages or information with the goal of being understood. Okay, well, when talking about communication skills, it's very important to take note that it does not solely refer to or talk about blurting out words or producing sounds coming from our mouth. It's actually more than that. In fact, when we do communication or when we talk, it involves nonverbal cues. It involves posture. It involves gestures. It involves eye contact. Let's not forget facial expressions, of course, and of course the content of the message that we wanted to convey. All these things are the main ingredients of a successful communication, so to speak. The thing that we are doing right now, I am speaking here, albeit it's virtual. You are there at the comfort of your own homes listening. I am sharing my thoughts while you are making sense of what I am saying, is already a form of communication. Simply put, it is actually the act of transferring information from one person to another. Next, having strong communication skills aids in all aspects of life, from professional life to personal life and everything that falls in between. From a business standpoint, all transactions result from communication. Good communication skills are essential to allow others and yourself to understand information more accurately and quickly. I'm sorry. Okay, personally, you know what? Growing up, I always think that having good communication skills is not that really very much important until I reach college, until I reach to a point where I have to look for a job. And in the corporate world, having impeccable communication skills is really very much important. As I told you a while ago earlier, most companies, they hire candidates who are ready to talk to clients, who can do transactions, who can confidently express themselves about any topic for that matter. Well, it's a skill that you might not have. Well, the truth is, I do not have that skill growing up. But with practice, of course, and with determination, I was able to be a very good communicator as I am right now. And of course, that can happen to you as well. Moreover, communication skills does not only help us in the professional level, it also helps us on the personal level. Well, on the personal level, it helps us to enhance or like build a harmonious relationships with the people around us, especially our family, our friends, and our colleagues. Next, Kim. Okay, these are the examples of communication skills. In fact, these are not examples. These are probably just ways on how to uh, to enhance your communication skills. One is active listening. Well, as cliche as it may sound, but the maxim that says to be a good listener, you must be a very, I mean, to be a very good speaker, you must be a very good listener first. Well, it still holds true up to this day and age. Um, when we do active listening, we do send appropriate messages or replies to the people we are communicating with. And how do we do it? By listening closely to what they say, by understanding clearly the message that they are conveying. Okay, so that is actually how you do active listening. um, by not doing actions that might distract or that might put the other person on edge. Okay, and of course that might distract them in the long run. This is actually very familiar to me, because more often than not, whenever I talk with people, whenever I talk with a good friend or probably family member, I tend to look at my phone every now and then. That is, every so often I look at my phone. Sometimes I bring up topics that is not related. Sometimes I look at somewhere else, which of course is not good, which of course will just distract the person that I am speaking with. Of course. Now I know it's a tall order on my end. I mean, I'm always glued to my phone, but I try hard, and I try hard to eliminate that. And on your end also, you can do that. And if you become successful in doing it, people will regard you as someone who is well mannered, someone who was brought up with high respects to people. Next is giving and receiving feedback. Okay, feedbacks come in different form. They can be indignant rebuttals, they can be love notes, they can be hate speeches, they can be comments, they can be suggestions, or what have you. I mean, just be sure that when you receive your feedback, you react appropriately, and you still communicate efficiently to the person you are speaking with. Okay, and feedbacks, they can be negative or they can be positive as well. If you are an effective communicator, you know exactly that even the other party is say for example, bringing up topic that is not familiar to you or that you are against. Okay, you still listen, and you still accept criticisms or constructive criticisms for that matter, because in these criticisms, in the long run, these improve our communications with people, right? So also, feedback also helps us to know if the person on the other end, or if you understand the message that is being conveyed. Okay, that is being conveyed. This is also this. Have you ever wondered how these people in the e-commerce industry, particularly these people who sell something online, like still continue to give us excellent like services despite everything being done online? What they normally do is they ask for feedback, they ask for suggestions, they ask for reviews from clients, and of course they take this by heart. They will not commit the same mistakes again in the future. And I hope you, as future future employees, or maybe future entrepreneurs, you give value to the feedback of the people who are you are speaking with, or you are speaking with. Next is volume and clarity, and monotone voice. Are you familiar? Monotone voice happens usually when there is no variation in the uh, in the tonality of our voice. Like imagine someone speaking in a straight horizontal line without rising intonations and falling intonations in between. That's just plain boring, I tell you. Um, the truth is, most miscommunications happen because we do not project our voice as well. And probably you might be wondering, I mean, because it's very important to me that my listeners are listening to me attentively. That's why I do variation in my voice. I do not want to make my voice sound monotonous or boring, or else people might view me as someone who is boring, even though the topic is interesting. Sometimes if the speaker speaks monotonously, the atmosphere becomes boring, the atmosphere becomes not engaging, and sometimes the topic becomes not music to our ears. So be sure to make your voice loud enough for the other person to hear it, and it should be clear enough for the other person to understand it as well. um, I'm sure you know that if we have soft voice, or if we are only whispering, people will look at us as someone who is timid, who is shy, who is um, not confident of what to say. In the same way, if you are that kind of person who speaks like it's as if he or she is eating his words, People will view you as someone who is who is nervous, who is not sure of the words that he or she is saying. Okay, so my advice is be sure to enunciate your words clearly. Next, we have empathy. Empathy. Um, I always say this, since I am working in the BPO setting. We always try to put ourselves on the shoes of the other people we are speaking with. I mean, that is the only way we will know exactly how they feel. That is the only way we know exactly where they are coming from. I'm sure they are angry. I am sure they are sad. I'm sure they are upset. I'm sure they are, throwing at us, bad words or curses, because there is an underlying reason behind it. Okay. This is actually a very familiar scenario, especially in the BPO setting. Like one day you receive a call coming from someone, from an angry customer telling you that he or she will not be paying her bills or his bills because um, he was not able to receive or get the maximum internet speed that he wants or he should be getting. And other times we receive calls coming from customers, sad customers, crying customers, saying that they cannot pay their bills because they just recently lost a loved one, because they uh, they probably lost their jobs, or their house caught a fire. I mean, that's understandable. That's understandable. Now, how do we address this? How do we address these concerns? I mean, two different scenarios, two different people, two different emotions, right? So, how do we address this? I always say that we listen closely to what they have to say, digest exactly the reason why they are angry, why are they upset, why are they happy. Again, there are reasons. There are reasons. Now, it's very important that we remove all our judgments, or we remove our biases, so that we can provide them a sound reply after. Normally, in call center setting, we always say, "I understand where you're coming from. Um, Please calm down. Explain exactly what you experienced, and we will get into the bottom of this." Along those lines, okay. Now, to drive home the point, what I am just saying right here is, don't let your strong emotions get in the way of the conversation, or else it might ruin the entire conversation. Next is, of course, is responsiveness. Um, do you respond quickly to a text, or do you wait for a day or two, a minute or two before you respond? Well, because you know what, as a communicator, that that actually says something about you as a communicator. Okay, the speed of our replies, fast replies would mean we are interested, we are engaged, we are enthusiastic, probably about the topic, or probably sometimes about the person we are speaking with. And on the other hand, if we give late replies, or we share late feedbacks, probably that means we are not interested about the topic, or worse, we are not interested with the person we are speaking with. Next slide, please, Kim. Okay, how to improve our communication skills. One is, you ask a close friend or a colleague for constructive criticism. I am still doing this up until today. I mean, I started doing this way back in high school because I was amazed how good my high school classmates were in communicating. Even when I was also in college, most of my classmates can interact well, can speak the language very well, can speak the English language very well. So I have to keep up. So how did I at least become confident when it comes to communication? I normally ask for their advice. I mean, you don't have to look further. I mean, these persons, your friends, or your classmates, or your colleagues, or your family members, they can be the best person to give you advice, right? I mean, without giving you judgments whatsoever. Well, you can do it one on one, or you can do it inside a room. Of course, that is to avoid humiliation, especially if it's done in the public. Next is practice improving communication habits. Communication habits include but are not actually limited to, um, say, talking to friends or talking to family members just about any topic that is available. That is available. So practice also. This is what I do. Practice also by watching impromptu speaking activities on YouTube and debate contests on YouTube. There are many, of course. You can also check out a good book and read and read and read. As I always say, it will definitely help you to be a very good speaker. Read any reading material for that matter. I mean, this will help you not only widen your vocabulary, it will also help you get ideas that are not familiar to you. And in the long run, will help you to construct your own ideas and eloquent them clearly to other people. Next is practice, I'm sorry, attend communication skills workshops or classes. Well, there are a lot. When I usually open my Facebook, I am seeing like paid trainings or paid boot camps. Only you will have to pay, but still, you are paying the knowledge. You are paying the knowledge of these trainers. You are paying the information that they will be imparting to you. Or sometimes universities or campuses near you, they offer like seasonal trainings. I'm sorry, I mean seasonal workshops or classes that can help you. And not to mention, I believe there are websites as well, like say for example Coursera, that offers like kinds of trainings like this for free. Plus, the good thing is you get to like you get a certificate at the end of every training. And of course, last, seek opportunities to communicate. Always, always, always find a chance to communicate just with anything else about anything, any topic under the sun. It does not really matter if the topic is something that is commonplace or something that is not familiar to you, because definitely you can share something and you will learn something from the other person you are talking with. Now, it will not only enhance your communication skills, I tell you, it will also enrich your mind with ideas that are not very much familiar to you. Okay. Before I end the presentation, here are you can connect with us on Taskus. We are on Facebook. It's facebook.com/TaskusPH. We are also in TikTok at Taskus INC. Follow us on Twitter at TaskusPH. Also follow us on Instagram, TaskusPH. You can check us on YouTube at youtube.com/taskus. Connect us. I mean, let's connect on LinkedIn using linkedin.com/company/taskus, and at careers@taskus.com. And of course, lastly, you can lodge your applications. You can apply through our partner from Jobs 180. It's jobs180.com/taskus. I think that ends the presentation for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something today. I know questions are coming in, and I hope they are not as hard as I thought. I think they are, so that I can answer them as well. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, Sir Ney. So to our audience, we are now open for questions. So if you have questions that you want to ask Sir Ney, just put it in our comment section. So while you're thinking about your questions, I prepared a couple for you, Sir. No. So
Wow, wow,
number
wow. That
one.
should not be hard, Sherry, huh?
Oh, sir, easy lang to, easy lang. Okay.
Good, good. Thank you.
Sir, may we ask, how do we respond to clients or customers that are totally unreasonable? This is from Caleb Baragas.
Hi, Caleb. That is a very good question. Okay. Whether this is in a real life situation or this is in a call center setting, of course, we have to understand first where they are coming from. That's what I told you a while ago. I mean, they have reasons why they are angry. They have reasons why they are sad. They have reasons why they are happy with the service or whatsoever. So let us not invalidate. I'm sorry, I am I am forming with some sweat on my forehead. Let us not invalidate their feelings. Let us not invalidate their uh, their responses. We have to validate them by acknowledging them. I mean, we acknowledge that you're angry. We acknowledge that you are sad, whatsoever. But find a way to actually answer the question, or answer respond to the question in such a way that it will not be offensive to the person, in such a way that is reasonable. There are scripts, there are templates that you can use, like, I understand where you're coming from, I understand what you are feeling right now. Say for example, let me check on that, and let's see exactly what happened, why. Say for example, the question is about the bill, the question is about the internet connection, and I'm sure if you are if your answer is reasonable, if your answer is acceptable, and definitely the customer will accept it. Now, pro tip, just a tip, of course, if we are in customer service, in the customer service industry, when we receive such kinds of feedback, we have to understand that they should not be the same feedback that we receive in the future. I mean, we should learn from these feedbacks. We should learn from these mistakes and promise not to commit the same mistakes again in the future. Thank you, Caleb, for the question. I hope you I answered your question.
From Jessa Del Rosario, good morning, sir. Is Task Us does Task Us have a work from home setup opening?
Thank you for that question, Jessa Del Rosario. Okay, good morning as well. Yes, we do have a work from home setup, but that is on certain campaigns. I mean, on certain campaigns. So meaning there are campaigns that that are working on site already, but there are campaigns who are actually allowed to work on. I mean, at the comforts of their own home. So you send your application now, Jessa, to jobs180.com/taskus. We'll wait for you.
From Sarmiento Erico Miguel, what are the potential opportunities for newly graduating students of psychology?
Hi, Enrico. Psychology is, I think, is very close to me. I mean, that is actually my first choice in college. However, I moved to. I decided to pursue mass communications instead. Now, for newly graduate students of psychology course, in fact, this is one of the courses na you can apply in any industry, right? I mean, you can be in the customer service industry, you can apply in the academe as well. You can apply in I believe uh, students who graduate psychology can be librarians as well, um, or take further knowledge and be a future psychologist. Okay, but uh, my advice always, if you did not ace that first job that you like, you can always try other job opportunities out there. I mean, there are a lot of job opportunities out there. We don't know exactly if the opportunity in the food business or in the customer industry business is also something that you might be interested of, and you might start loving. Who knows, right? So that is Enrico. Psychology, it's definitely a course that wherein you can apply for a job, and they will not like throw judgments on you. I mean, basically, all of these industries, pwede yung mga yan. Thanks, Enrico.
So on behalf of our audience, so I will ask my question. Keep
Wait,
your
okay.
questions coming.
Yes,
Okay,
keep your questions
nakalimutan
coming.
niyo ako eh, no?
It's
All
a
right.
forget carrier.
So, sir, here's my question. Do HR interviewers or recruiters prefer people with good com skills over those with strong people skills? So, which one would you pick? Like, if you have a
Okay,
candidate, what would
okay.
you prefer?
I understand that some people, they do not have they do not have. I mean, they are not lucky enough to have the people skills and the communication skills all at once, right? I mean, some people, they can have both. If they are lucky, if you are lucky, you can have both. But other people, they can be very good only at one thing and not good in the other thing. Um, People skills, I believe, also involves being very good at communicating. I mean, they go hand in hand. So, but if you're going to ask me if what's important between the two, I still I still say people skills, because again, communication skills is under people skills, because if you have very good communication skills, you are that type of person who can communicate well, you are the type of person who can, adjust to whatever circumstances or environment that you are in. So people skills and communication skills, if that is allowed.
All right. So next one we have from Alfred Nulan. How do you control your anger when you are communicating? Can you please share any personal tricks or exercise?
Oh, okay, okay, Alfred. This is a very good question as well. Okay, um, anger actually depends on the situation you are in. I mean, in the first place, why will you be why are you angry during the conversation, or when communicating, if there's nothing to be angry about, right? Probably you are angry because of the topic. Probably you are angry because you dislike the person you are talking with. But if to answer your question, how do you control your anger? I highly suggest this. This is what I normally do. Um, I do not divert my attention to other things. I just take a deep breath. Of course, like probably you can count one, two, three. Take a deep breath, and that will definitely help you. That will definitely help you. You know exactly that anger will not help us in communicating with other people. Especially it will hinder in sending the right it will hinder us in sending the right message to the person we are communicating with. So let us not you know um, focus on getting that in our way, Alfred.
All right, so thank you. From Michael Yap, good morning, sir. May I know how do you put yourself back up if you suddenly lost your words or you suddenly experience a mental block when you're talking in front of somebody?
I like the question, Michaela. Okay, very familiar. Why? Because I've been in the academe. I was a college instructor for like almost 6 years, and I experienced this myself. This does not only happen in customer service industry. Also, it happens in the academe. I mean, it is expected. It is not expected that you know everything, right? I mean, that during the conversation you have you already have a ready answer about a certain topic that might arise, because sometimes we get caught off guard, like, wow, how do I answer this? I'm not familiar. Like, wow, this is something new to me. How can I make rebuttals and all. Now, mental block very is a commonplace. I mean, it's natural. I suggest, and what I do when I was in the academy, I normally tell the people. I normally tell the students that I'll get back to them like after 15 minutes or after a day on the next meeting. One is I am afraid of giving them the incorrect information, right? Especially if it involves a fact. I don't want to give them false information, false ideas about something that I am not really very familiar, or that I don't know about. Because people when they hear you, when they that you are a professor or a teacher, and they see you as someone who is a model. They What they do is they tend to like say to other people, oh, my teacher said this, that it's like this and it's like that. So if it's an incorrect information, that is what we are eliminating. I mean, alleviating, sending across incorrect information. So if you're talking in front of someone and you experience mental block, just say exactly that. I apologize. I think I might have missed something, or that is not in my radar. I'm not familiar with it right now. I will get back to you once I know already the answer. Something like that, Michaela.
All right, thank you for that, sir. Now we are on our last question. Sorry, guys, we have to move on to the next topic. All right, from Sheila May Balicuatro. How will you be able to enhance communication with someone who is not interested in talking?
Who is not interested in talking? Personally, I have not experienced this. I have not experienced this because I'm that type of person who is engaging. I mean, when you talk to me, I want the conversation to be engaging as much as possible. I will let you talk. I will definitely ask you to talk, and give me ideas about anything. Now, how will we be able to enhance communication with someone who is not interested in talking? I highly suggest that I think on their end, on our end, we cannot get anything from them, right? Because they are not interested. I mean, what information can you get from someone who is not interested? What information can you get from someone who doesn't like to talk to you, right? So I highly suggest. Um, Let me just read the question again. How will you be able to enhance communication with someone? I don't know exactly if I understood the question correctly. Is it I am talking with someone, or that person who is not interested with talking is the one who wants to enhance his communication skills? Because if that is the case, just read books, just read any reading materials for that matter. It will help a lot, definitely.
All right, thank you for that, sir. So, guys, we are sorry we ran out of time, but please don't worry about your questions. We'll try to address it for the next speaker naman. All right. So, Sir Nay, on behalf of RTU and
Yes.
jobs180.com, thank you for being with us this morning, and we'd love to have you again. We'd love to invite you again, sir, for the next sessions of other units.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Although this is really very new to me, trainings or seminars done online. This is very new to me. In fact, I was nervous, but I had fun talking with you, and I had fun talking with the
Thank you,
people
Sir
on the
Nay.
comment
Thank
section.
you.
And again, before I end the this one, can I just invite the people to our audience to apply? So for those graduating students who wanted to apply, or we might have um, like viewers here who are already in other industry, you can apply in Task Us by lodging in your information at www.jobs180.com/taskus. So that's it. Thank you so much, Sherry, and thank you so much, Jobs 180.
Thank you so much, Sir Nay. Have a great day, pa. All right. So for our next presenter, she is Miss Margaret Joy Bonilla. He is the recruitment leader for Athena Go. Miss Margaret is an experienced talent acquisition leader who specializes in creating high impact career opportunities for fellow Filipinos. As an avid work life balance advocate, Miss Marga is passionate about setting and achieving career goals without compromising personal growth. Her most ambitious goal to date is to partner 10,000 Athena EAs with their clients, all within the next decade. So on Fridays, she is the host of Athena's Homegrown podcast, all about Athena, wherein she talks about the Athena way, freelancing, work life balance, and the work from home setup. You can catch all of the podcast episodes via Athena's official Facebook page and YouTube channel. So let's welcome Miss Margaret Joy Boniglia to our stream. Hi, Miss Marga. Good morning. You don't have mic, ma'am. No audio.
Sorry about that. Hey, hi,
It's
good morning,
okay. Hi,
everyone. I
ma'am.
hope everyone's awake. Everyone has had eaten their breakfast and are awake and alert. Hi, my name is Marga. Margaret is quite a mouthful, so I'll spare you the torture. So, everyone, thank you very much for having me. Hi, thank you very much, Jobs 180, for hosting us and giving this opportunity to speak more about Athena and to shed some light on the skills that employers look for.
Can we test your share screen, ma'am?
Sure.
There we go. So, to our audience, Miss Marga will be discussing top skills that employers look for. So, to the questions that were not addressed earlier, we will be doing it. We will be asking it to Miss Marga. If that's okay, Miss Marga, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, your screen is up, so I'll be back in 20 minutes for the Q&A. Thank you,
All right.
Miss Marga.
Thank
Thank you.
you. All right, so good morning, everyone, and I hope that you are alert and you are attentive today. I won't take much of your time, and if it's the first time you're hearing about Athena, so our company is called Athena, and we're not the typical company that you probably see online. We pride ourselves in being atypical, and also what our goal really is to empower the fiercely ambitious, and that includes you. And so, what is Athena? So, this company, our company, was founded by Jonathan Swanson and Beth Villion in 2018 in August. And our mission really is to power possibility through transformative delegation. And our vision is to empower the fiercely ambitious to reach the most audacious goals. So, that's a lot of words, right? But essentially, what we want to do is to create better opportunities for both job seekers and also for our clients. And the way that we do that is building exceptional remote teams, meaning that we are 100% remote. There is no office anywhere online, anywhere in the world, rather. We are all over the Philippines. We are what you call digital nomads. We work anywhere, anytime, and just as long as we have great Wi-Fi, right? So if you're the type to if you're the type who likes to travel, who likes to go to the beach, if you're like if you're the type to go to the mountains, well, as long as there's cell reception, right? um, we don't really limit. There are no bounds in terms of where you can work. If you live in the province and you are forced to, relocate in the cities, in the major cities, just to get jobs, and you're, forced to be away from your families, this is, an opportunity for you to still work and be with your family. You can go back. We have a lot of Athenians who were in that situation wherein this opportunity gave them to go back to their province and stay with their families and still earn money and support, their financial needs. And so, Athena, what we do here is we hire and then we train exceptional Philippine based executive assistants. Now, when I say executive assistants, the assistant has quite the stigma in Philippine society because you hears assistant, you think, oh, taga-timpla ng kape, or someone who does clerical work, or someone who, just files papers. But rather in Athena, executive assistants are what you can consider as the second brain of the client. Our clients are C-level executives. These are COO, CEOs, COOs. These are founders of tech startups, of big companies, of small companies. And these are the innovative minds, right, that are creating so much impact in the world. And being an executive assistant doesn't mean that you're just filing papers because you're doing it virtually, right? So, what it means is that you have access, unlimited access to the brains and inner working brains of those creative minds. It's like having an MBA, but it's for free, right? And being an executive assistant is not just a job because it's repetitive work, because it's not. No two clients are the same, right? No two executive assistants are the same. That's how diverse the work is. The work really depends on what your client will ask of you, where your client is, which industry, what kind of tasks. And really, with the executive assistant role, the goal is to build that partnership, the two-way partnership, right? And it's all about aligning your goals with each other, right? When we say fiercely ambitious, we're not just talking about the clients, but also we're talking about you as an EA. We want you to be fiercely ambitious, and we want our clients to be fiercely ambitious. And when your goals align, and that's when the magic happens, right? And the way that we look at it is the executive assistant, again, is the second brain of the client. It's not the, regular order taker where the client says, okay, do this, do that. The executive assistant is who runs the show, right? Essentially, because you are, you have so much impact on someone who is capable of so much impact to the world. It's like a ripple effect, right? And that is, again, what we want to build, impactful relationships that last long term. So, again, we are a remote company, work anywhere, work everywhere, anytime. And it's 100% remote, not just temporary setup. We have been working remotely, um, even before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and even after the pandemic. And the great catch is we don't require work experience. Why? Because we believe that we should be screening based on skills and competencies and not based on what you have done before. Well, one work experience, right? Because skills, again, these things can be taught. And in Athena, we believe in investing in people. So we hire people and we train people. And after training and you're matched with a client, we also coach you still continuously, right? So this is a full EA journey for you. We don't just hire you and then, you know, put you with the client and hope for the best. We really make sure that we set you up for success and that we give you a meaningful long-term relationship with your client and also a long-term meaningful career for you as well. So, as an executive assistant, there are a variety of tasks that you can do, and these things, again, instead of having to wait for the client to tell you, "Oh, Marga, you can do this. Oh, Marga, you can do that." The executive assistant here in Athena is the one who is telling the client, hey, I can do this for you. Hey, I've already done this for you. What else do you need me to do? Right? So we are a step ahead. We always anticipate the needs of our clients. And that's what sets us apart from maybe what you can think of as a clerical assistant. And if you are a fan of Marvel movies, and I'm sure you are. If you know who Pepper Potts is, so you know that Tony Stark is a CEO, and Pepper Potts was his executive assistant, right? And you see that in the background, it was Pepper Potts essentially running the show, right? Even before Tony Stark even asked her to do something, she already did it. And that's essentially what we want, the partnership to be, with our Athena EAs and their clients. Or if you're not a Marvel fan, if you are a K drama fan, it's more like what's wrong with Secretary Kim? That kind of um, EA support, right? That would be essential to the client, and that what we want to do is to make sure that we give back the time to these clients through transformative delegation. And that's really the vision here at Athena. And the goal is to create 10,000 jobs, in the next decade, meaning that we have a lot of openings and we have room for everyone. And we have clients waiting, and maybe they're waiting for you. And so let's talk about the skills, right? What skills do clients look for? So I think it's a no brainer. Excellent English communication skills. So, when we say excellent communication skills, I'm not expecting you to be a native English speaker, right? As English as our second language, we do acknowledge that, of course, we may slip up from time to time with regards to our accent or mispronunciations. I know I do that as well. I have a lot of mispronunciations from every now and then, and I do try to self correct, right? How to practice this would be to read and also to watch movies, listen to podcasts. Sometimes when I listen to podcasts or when I watch movies or when I read books, I pick up on words that expand my vocabulary, right? And that in turn makes me a better communicator because it gives me more ammo to use when I want to express my thoughts freely. And this in turn, for the written skills, there are, I wouldn't call them cheats, but more of hacks. So in this in this digital age, we have a lot of apps that can help you write better. If you're not comfortable with writing, you can use Grammarly, you can use Grammara, you can use Ginger. There are several writing apps that you can use online that can help you. Because spell check is not enough. That's just for typos. But this one, it helps you write better, with those articles, with those prepositions. And I'm guilty of that as well, like a misplaced comma, and when do we even use a colon, or when do we even use a semicolon, right? So these things, to better write, we can always leverage technology because it's already available for us. We don't have to make things or our lives more difficult than it already is. And so one more thing is that, professionalism and work ethic. I believe that this one is the one of the most important things because it's free, right? Professionalism could be in terms of being there on time, right? Being consistent, being aware, being conscious, being consensuous about yourself and about other people, making sure that you understand that this is work, right? This is not about being too casual, that there are certain boundaries that need to be respected. And also with the work ethic, I'm not talking about, you know, gritting your teeth, doing overtime without any pay. That's not good work ethic. Work ethic means that you are reliable because essentially you and your client are partners, right? Just like any partnerships, you want that partner to be reliable. And your work ethic will show how reliable you are, and your work ethic will also gain confidence, from your client that, hey, this person does a great job because I see the work that this person puts in through the work ethic. And these things can be practiced by being more consistent, being more consensuous, being more mindful about the things that you do. And in Athena, with the relationship between the client and also the EA, what's really important there is to have genuine care. When you have genuine care between the two of you, everything follows, the professionalism and the work ethic, because you're conscious about, am I being professional about this? Or am I, is my work ethic enough to do the job? And that's really how it follows. And then another one would be interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills is important because again, this is a partnership. Great partnerships don't happen overnight. And what it does is it's just like meeting a friend for a first time, right? They're strangers at first, and you don't know what they like, you don't know what they don't like, and so you're sort of trying to get the feel of what works, what jokes to use, or what topics to bring up to sort of connect with that person. So that's where your interpersonal skills come to play. Now, how do you develop interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills is how you interact with people in a social setting, and also how you communicate with people. So, what I would suggest is to talk to people, right? It could, if you are an introvert, which is a big hurdle for some, and I would like to share that I am also an introvert. It may sound a bit weird considering that I am doing this webinar right now as an introvert, but it also pays to go out of your comfort zone, right? Talk to other people, meet new strangers, and if you're not comfortable meeting new strangers, develop more develop more of your interpersonal skills through your already established network, right, with your friends. I know that in this pandemic we're not really that comfortable to go outside yet because the risk is still so high, but we have again technology is not the future, technology also already now. So let's leverage on that technology. You have Zoom, you have Messenger, you have a lot more apps that you can use to connect with people, and just exercising those personal interpersonal skills. And that's aside from the communication skills. Interpersonal skills is really, being able to connect with people on a personal level, genuinely trying to get to know them, what, the nuances in their personalities, and that's really important in building relationships. And another one is critical thinking and problem solving skills. So I think this is also a skill that is needed in college and anywhere really. I know that I had to do this, I had to have this in college because there were just so much coursework that needed critical thinking and problem solving skills, right? Mainly for this one, what you can do is to make aside from the obvious of using your brain in critical thinking and problem solving, what helps is when you take a step back. When you're presented with a problem, take a step back and try to look at the problem from a different perspective, right? Consider that maybe there is something that you're not seeing at the moment, right? And sometimes if it happens that you're stuck on a problem and you don't know how to do it, take a break. Your brain is wired to only really pay attention for only a short amount of time, right? So sometimes you the information, well, it overloads you, right? Information fatigue is real. So if you're stuck on a problem for such a long time and you're so frustrated with yourself because you don't know how to approach it, take a break. And then drink coffee or walk around or eat something sweet or something else that you do to, refresh your mind, and then sit down, take another crack at it, and maybe you can see another perspective, right? And another thing, probably with critical thinking and problem solving skills, is being discerning, right? Sometimes we are bombarded with so much information that it's hard to discern which information is important, right? That your brain kind of tricks you to tell you that all these information is important, right? And what happens is because you try to regard all information as important, you tend to miss out on the things that you were supposed to be paying attention to. It's sort of like your textbook, right? Your textbook is there because it's important. you'd think that every text there is important. However, when you're studying and you have a highlighter, you only really highlight a few things. You don't highlight the whole page. That's crazy, right? It's the same way when you do critical thinking and problem solving skills. When you're presented with information, with data and a problem, you try to highlight the things that need the most attention, and you discern which information needs to be processed the most. And that's when you um, tackle the problem, or at least hatch a plan on how to tackle that problem. And next would be, it's intertwined with that, attention to detail and organizational skills. So when you're pressed for time and it's crunch time, right? It's quite easy for you to panic or be in despair. I remember being in college, and when it's what we discerned as Hell Week, when everything was, um, all the deadlines were in the same week, finals were in the same week, and basically no one was getting any sleep, right? And when you don't have focus, when you don't get enough sleep, when when your brain is not at full capacity, that focus wanes, meaning that your attention to detail suffers. So make sure that you take the time to rest, you take the time to have that balance in your life. In work, we have that work life balance. Here at Athena, we make sure that our Athenians are not burnt out. OTs are okay, but it's not really encouraged, mainly because we want this to be a meaningful career, right? We don't want to take away from your time with your family. We don't want to take time away from your friends. We don't want to take away from the things that make you happy, like your interests, your hobbies, and maybe your significant other, right? So these things, balance is important in order for you to function better. And when you have enough sleep, when you are primed for work every day, that's when you can exercise attention to detail and organizational skills, because you have more brain capacity to really zone in on which detail should I be paying more attention to, and also with organizational skills, because your brain isn't all jumbled thinking about 100,000 different things all at once. You're able to categorize, okay, this is what I need, this is what I need to do tomorrow, and organize your tasks, your files, and everything else, your day, your client's day, and everything else that needs organization. So there we go for the top skills that we usually look for in Athena. But most importantly, and I think this is the one thing that would help you grow, as a new job seeker, as in any position or any job that you apply for, is your openness to feedback, right? When I say openness to feedback, you're not just waiting for people to give you feedback, right? You're not just waiting for your boss to tell you, hey, you're doing a great job, or hey, you did something wrong here. When I say openness to feedback, you yourself directly ask for feedback, right? You ask your boss, you ask someone, hey, did I do well? Hey, what are the things that I can do better, right? Because when you're open to feedback and when you internalize that feedback, that's when you grow. That's when you develop as a person, and who, a professional in your career, whatever career you decide to be in. So there we go. And to end this up, you can look us up on our socials. You can learn more about us through Facebook. LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and also um, you can go to www.jobs180.com/athenago to lodge your applications. And tonight, if you're interested to know more about Athena, we're talking with our marketing manager to talk about our digital nomad stance and our branding tonight at 8 p.m. via our Facebook page. We have a podcast. I'll be there as well at 8 p.m. All about Athena. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Miss Marga. All right. So to our audience, the floor is now open for questions. But I want to go back to the questions that was sent earlier, no?
Sure, go ahead.
I-rephrase ko lang, ma'am, for your industry and for your company. So there
Sure.
was one question a while ago about what do you think when people always you hear it all the time. Customer is always right. What is your take on that?
In Athena, we don't necessarily subscribe to that thinking. We make sure that we also coach our clients and we coach our EAs. So the customer is not always right because what we have here in Athena is partnership. When it's a partnership, it's not a one way thing, right? Just like probably for those students tuning in who are in relationships, if you're in a relationships, it's never always you that's right, or it's never your partner that's right. It's always a two-way street. So when it comes to customers always right, we don't subscribe to that thinking. I think that's an old school type of mindset that we try to veer away from. We try to educate our clients that maybe there are better ways to do things, right? So we don't, of course, s- uh, s- we don't resort to arguments. So we're not argumentative about it, right? It's just more of, if you say it's red, why is it red? Right? Or if I say it's blue, but I know it's red, why is it blue? Right? It's just more of, this is what I think and this is what you think, but why? Let's discuss the gap. Let's bridge that gap, and we'll come to a conclusion after. So no, I don't think that we should be subscribing to that. Of course, I cannot say for um, this is just for Athena. Just a disclaimer that this is just for Athena because it we do bank in relationships, like long-term relationships with the client. And just like again with any relationships, when it's long-term, you already know the nuances of your partner. You get like their preference, how they like to be addressed, how they like to do things. So when you agree with them, when you disagree with them, there's a certain level of trust already that's there, and comfortability when you voice out these thoughts, right? So in other industries, probably it's not applicable. So I just wanted to sort of give that disclaimer. Like, for example, let's say the BPO industry, wherein, of course, they regard the customer as king. So that might probably not the best advice if you are leaning more towards that 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 profession.
All right, thank you for that. And we also have another question. I can't go back to the question and pin it na po eh. But we also have another question asking about what are the companies like programs or campaigns for helping their employees with mental health, stress management? Can we ask? On Athena's side.
Yes. Yes. So we understand that it's not just with the pandemic, right? I think it just got exacerbated with the pandemic, that because it's so we are so uneasy with the future, like where we're going with this, when it's going to end. So I think that's very important. I am a mental health advocate. That's why we advocate also work life balance. We make sure that our EAs or our Athenians do not work too much to the point that they're burnt out, right? Again, what we want for them is genuine work life balance and not just lip service, not just what you see on marketing campaigns, but actual, genuine, authentic work life balance, right? We want I'm friends with a lot of EAs on Facebook, and I love seeing them, posting pictures with their family, with their friends, and that's what we want for them, right? Because when you're just all about work, that will be detrimental to your mental health, right? Socialization will help you cope with this, right? The reason why people started to go stir crazy was because they were being isolated from other people, right? Even introverts, they don't have to really go out to socialize. Just, Zoom, Discord, or whatever platform that you use to really communicate with your friends. um, when you have time for that, when you have that genuine work life balance, I think everything follows. And even on top of that, we do have, from time to time, we hold company like not seminars, but like workshops on stress management, to really make sure, temp checks with our EAs, with Athenians, to make sure, hey, where are you at? Are you still okay? Because there are, the realities really of working from home is we're going to do this long term, right? It's not just a temporary thing. We're not going to go back to the office. We are working at home, and that comes with a lot of considerations, that it's just like you and myself. We're at our houses, but it's just me in front of my computer talking to you through this camera lens that I should be looking at, but I'm looking at your face, so it's kind of, confusing. So it's really about managing your daily stress level, and making sure that we also look at it on a long term, like the long term maintenance of that. So yes, we do value mental health here in Athena, and we do value work life balance here at Athena.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question coming in from Ilaw Maika. Is Athena open for internship programs?
Ah, maybe in the future, we would be. Actually, that's something that I am also looking at. So I head the recruitment department at Athena, and with the recruitment for the hiring for the EAs, EA hiring, and we are hiring again. As I've said, the big goal is 10,000. So you'd imagine our hiring now is through the roof, and I'm actually I'm actually looking at maybe employing some interns just for some clerical work. But we'll see. For now, unfortunately, Micah, I can't say for sure. But maybe in the future, just tune into the Jobs 180 link, jobs180.com/Athena Athena Go link, and maybe we can post some internships there that you can avail of.
All right. So thank you for that, ma'am. All right. So do we have any more questions from our audience? Otherwise, we'll close the session and move on to the next bit. All right. So, Ma'am Marga, so to our audience, the link for Athena Go is jobs20.com/Athena Go. You can also find their opportunities at schools.jobs20.com/RTU, where all your partners' vacancies are posted. And on behalf of jobs180.com, ma'am, and the RTU COE team, we'd like to thank you for gracing this morning with your with your talk, and we hope to invite you again in the future, ma'am, with
Thank
other
you.
universities naman po.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, again, I'm live online later via our Facebook page. That's Facebook/Athena Careers, if I'm not mistaken. And we are going to be live. We will be talking about it's all about Athena podcast, and we will be talking about all our marketing collaterals about digital nomads, and hope you stay tuned for that one. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shari. Thank you very,
Thank
very
you,
much,
Miss
Jobs
Marga.
180.
Thank you,
Bye
thank you.
bye.
Bye, ma'am. All right. Okay, so next up, we have our next speaker is Miss Elisha Isha de la Peña. She is the social media specialist for Probe. Miss Isha has been Probe CX Philippines social media specialist for 3 years now, and she manages the recruitment's digital marketing initiatives and at the same time assists in various sourcing and branding activities. She is a graduate of advertising arts from the University of St. Thomas, and she carries with her more than 7 years of experience. She's worked with various brands, both local and international, as a marketing consultant, helping companies grow through digital marketing and design. All of her experiences combined, having worked in both marketing and recruitment, has helped her identify best practices applicants can adapt to help them increase their chances of getting hired for the job that they want. So, please welcome on our stream Miss Isha de la Peña from Pro. Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Hi, Shari. Good morning.
Good morning. Ma'am, can we test your screen?
Yes. Miss Pin, are you there? Okay.
Ayan. Ma'am, it's up. So, you know what to do. So, I'll be back in 20 minutes for the question and answer. Thank you, Miss
Yeah.
Isha.
Thanks, Shari. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to be discussing how we can all be social savvy and safe. But before we go into details, let's look at a few social media stats that we were able to gather online. So, next slide, please. Okay, so we all know that there's a need for us to be responsible online. But the question is, why do we have to be responsible online? So these are just a few numbers to help us understand why we have to be more responsible online. So the first one is that 53.6 of the world's population uses social media. I'm sure that you guys already have an idea of how big the reach of social media is worldwide. So more than half. So that's quite huge if you ask me. Next, the average daily usage is 2 hours and 25 minutes. Now, I'm sure that we're all guilty of this. This is just the average, but I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that we tend to exceed 2 hours and 25 minutes. Like, say, for example, myself, I normally spend, I think, at around 5 hours on social media. But my excuse is, of course, I work as a social media specialist. My work is social media. So, yeah, I will spend more time online compared to other people. But, yeah, I think this is a perfect time to send you guys a reminder that everything or that anything excessive is unhealthy. So, keep that in mind. We can use that as a point of improvement from this point on. Okay, and next, as of January 2021, there are 89 million Filipinos who are in social media. So that comprises about 80.7% of our total population. So if you're in the Philippines and most of your friends or your content is targeted towards Filipinos, that is your probable maximum reach at this point. And lastly, the number of social media users in the Philippines increased by 16 million between 2020 and 2021. Now, this I'm not so sure about this, but this is probably because of the pandemic. As you all know, when the pandemic hit the Philippines, we shifted from face-to-face classes, on-site work to basically doing everything online. So that could be one of the causes. Okay, next slide, please. So here's the question again. Why do we have to be more responsible online? So I'm sure that you guys are wondering, wait, this is a job site. Why does this matter to me? Why do I have to be more responsible online? It's my personal profile. I only have access to it, like I shared with my friends. So these are a few key points that you might want to keep in mind. First is that your social media profiles are your digital identity. Everything you post online is connected to you, of course. And I think it would help if you remember this or if you keep this in mind. Do not do anything online, anything that you won't do in person. So, yeah, present yourself online the way you would present yourself in person. Next is that it affects your health. Yes, it also affects your physical health. We already know that excessive use of social media can lead to fatigue, carpal tunnel syndrome, stuff like that. But also, more importantly, your mental health as well. So you really have to be careful with the type of content that you engage with, because it will have effects on your mental health. And lastly, of course, all your activity leaves a digital imprint. I'm sure that you guys are aware that you can delete posts, you can archive them, but you're never really sure who's seen it, who's maybe taken a screenshot of your post. So keep that in mind whenever you post. Okay. So the question is, next slide, please. How do we use social media more responsibly? Okay, next slide. So I'm sure you guys have all heard this before. Think before you click. I cannot stress this enough. So the first point under this one is avoid posting unprofessional photos or statements. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there are certain employers, schools, or even immigration offices that will ask for your social media handles. So they usually use your social media channels as a form of background check because normally your profiles would show what type of views you have on certain topics, what causes you support, what your advocacies are. So yeah, it helps them to try to get to know you better through your online profiles. And I think a good point to keep in mind here is that whenever you post something, try and look at your profile from an employer standpoint. So if you see your profile and let's say you were the recruiter, would you like to hire yourself given the things that you post online? So just keep that in mind. Next, of course, think twice before posting in an emotional state. Now, we all know that it can be therapeutic to like rant online. You know, you get validation, you get advice, you get the opinions of others, but be sure to do it when your emotions are not heightened. When making an emotionally charged statement on social media, be mindful of the consequences before publishing the post. In particular, avoid posting maybe events or rants that are connected to your employment because it may have long lasting consequences even beyond the time of posting. And of course, again, you can always delete it or archive it, but there are screenshots. It could have already been seen by a lot of people. So, yeah, just be careful. It's okay to post about your opinions, about your emotions, but please do it when your mind is clear. Next, of course, never post criminal activity. So remember that there are some types of content that are unlawful. Social media platforms, they normally have community guidelines or rules that we have to follow. So let's abide by those rules. Posts that are defamatory, incite violence, or include hate speech are just some examples of posts that can land you in trouble. So let's avoid posting those type of posts. Posting criminal activities, of course, or conspiring with other social media members to engage in criminal activities will definitely land you in hot water. So let's not do that. Let's be careful. And you know, there are people online who aren't as tech savvy or who might be young and gullible. So let's be careful about what we post because we might be sending the wrong message to the young ones. Next, of course, don't count on anonymity. So this is pretty straightforward. I know that a lot of us might think that, hey, you know what, it's easy to create a fake profile, it's easy to remain anonymous online. But I think it's important that you guys know that if someone wants to find out who you are, they will. So it can always be traced back to you. I'm not sure if you guys watch true crime documentaries, but yes, it's easy for experts to track whoever posted which. So keep that in mind. Okay, and the last one for this one is recognize your own and others' rights and responsibilities. So digital rights and responsibilities help to shape, and ensure the freedom that everyone should be able to enjoy online. Note that rights, they come with responsibilities as well. So be aware of your own rights and responsibilities in the platform that you're using. Again, let's go back to the community guidelines. Make sure that you've read through it and you understand it and that you comply. Um, so your freedom of speech and freedom to visit these platforms are basically standard. And I think that what you have to keep in mind whenever you interact with other people online is just to be respectful Yes, we will all have differing opinions from time to time, but be sure that in all the engagements that you have online, remain respectful. And if you find that other people are violating community guidelines or rules, you can always report them, and the administrator of the said platform will flag it. So that's it. Next slide, please. Okay. So it goes without saying that whenever you use social media platforms, please protect your privacy. So the first item here is a no-brainer. Of course, keep your profile set to private. It always helps if you just engage with people that you only know. Be sure that your posts are only visible to people that you actually want to see your post. So it would help if you don't like add strangers online, if you only set your post visibility to private or to friends or just to certain acquaintances. So I think that would help. Next, do not post your whereabouts. So it's really tempting to like post vacation photos real time, post it in your stories. And yeah, I think most of us do that. However, you're not really sure who's following you online. That is, if you have like a huge amount of following and you're not sure who has access to your friends' social media accounts. So let's say, for example, you post vacation photos that clearly show that there's no one at home, you'd be an easy target for a robbery. So that's just it. And of course, if you are trying to avoid, certain people and you don't want them to find you, it would help if you don't post your exact location because that might get you in trouble. Next, of course, do not post your personal information. Share only as much personal information as necessary. Like if it's not compulsory to post your year of birth, your mobile number, your email address, your city, or your ID numbers. Don't share it. That could be used against you, or you could be, robbed online, basically. So let's avoid giving out personal information that's not necessary to be put out online. Next, be wary of what you give access to. So when you guys access certain apps online, they will ask for access. So whenever you approve of these accesses, make sure that you check if the access that they're requesting for is actually necessary. Like say for example, you're looking at a photo editing app and it requests access to your contacts list. So that's a bit shady. You can always deny that. You can always look for another app. And actually, sometimes for some of these apps, even if you do deny them access to certain um, aspects of your phone, like say, for example, what I mentioned, the contacts list, you can still utilize it. But don't just agree to anything you see online. Like don't just give access freely because that's your personal information, and as I was saying earlier, you have to protect your privacy online because you never know who has access to your information. Next, of course, do not click suspicious links. I'm not sure how many of you have gotten those sale links on Messenger. So sometimes you get links from that are masked as legitimate links from well-known online shops or online stores. So don't click it unless it's from the official source. So there have been multiple instances online where when you click that link, it automatically sends the link to the rest of your messenger contacts, and it takes in information and it sends messages on your behalf. So just don't click them, and I encourage you to please let your older family members know of this because sometimes they tend to click on links unknowingly, and it causes unnecessary panic. And of course, last but not the least is do not accept requests from strangers. Now there's a good setting on Facebook particularly that people with no mutual friends cannot add you. So I think that's a good setting to have. At least you know that the people who will try to engage with you are at least connected to your network. So that's good. And you can also actually set to not receive message requests from strangers. So that's a good setting to have as well. Okay, next slide, please. And of course, engage wisely. Recognize what's unhealthy and hit that unfollow button. Remember, you're in charge of your content, you're in charge of the content that you see. You can use social media to uplift your life, connect with friends, create content, and entertain. Or you can get used to it, and you can be a bit dependent on it. So make sure that the things that you engage with, or the content that you engage with, are healthy for you, supports your growth. It's not offensive, it's not defamatory, it's factual, it's reliable. And as soon as you see something that you don't think you like, or you feel that it's offensive, or that it doesn't help your mental state, feel free to unfollow. Like, you don't have to explain yourself, just unfollow. What doesn't serve you, it doesn't have to be on your feed. Next is, yes, be aware of the content that you're consuming. And I speak from experience. The type of content that you usually engage with is the type of content that will most probably be thrown towards your newsfeed, timeline, stuff like that. So whenever you engage with a certain type of content, let's say, for example, you like dogs, so you view dog videos, you like dog pictures. So the algorithm of these social media platforms will dictate for it to throw more dog related content towards you. So if you engage with content that you're not particularly interested in, or content that you find irrelevant or you find offensive, unfortunately, the more you engage with it, the more it's going to be thrown at you, because it's registered as part of your interests. So be careful. And again, speaking of advertising on social media, you can be targeted based on your interests, your current likes, your social status, your online activity. So just be careful of what you engage with, again, because more than not, more likely than not, it's going to be what's thrown at you in the future. Next, focus on what you really enjoy and avoid overuse. So, we have the tendency, again, the average time spent on social media sites are 2 hours and 25 minutes, but we tend to go beyond that. So, for your own sake, try to limit your social media use. Maybe that would be a good practice. At least that way, you'll have more time to be more productive. That is, of course, if you have other activities that you want to engage in. Focus on what you really enjoy, and again, avoid overuse. I know that we have the tendency to, like, um, view certain topics, and we have like this tendency to go down a rabbit hole, and watch a lot of videos, overload ourselves with content. So let's try to avoid that. Be sure that you remember that anything excessive is unhealthy, so just always keep that in mind. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is your final reminder to stay safe and be responsible online. Again, I encourage everyone to watch your tone, especially with the upcoming elections. I know that there are a lot of people who will have different opinions from yourself. So be sure that when you converse with people online, you still engage with them respectfully. You respect other people's opinions, and be sure that you are speaking to others the way you would like for others to speak to you. Next, be skeptical. We all know that there have been a surge in fake news spread online. So whenever you click on news articles, be sure that you verify that these are credible sources. Again, before you share as well, be sure that you check the date of the post, because there have been instances as well in the past few months wherein an old post will be reshared and people will think of it as a new post and something like that. Also, make sure that when you do share news articles, be sure that they're not satire. So yeah, because other people who might be a bit more gullible, or who aren't really that aware of the existence of satirical news sites, they might be easily persuaded. So yeah, just be careful. Next is, of course, protect your reputation. Again, I know that you guys will be applying for jobs in the next few weeks or months. So remember that your social media profiles are your digital identity. So present yourself in a way that you would present yourself in person. Remember that. Next is, of course, obtain permissions. Whenever you post content that's not necessarily yours, be sure that you ask for permission from the people in the post or from the people who actually own the content. So, or you can also give credits. That's usually the way that we have now, but it's always better if you obtain permissions. Next, okay, scrub your account. So I know that we have been in social media for years now, so it would help. So now that you guys are aware of the do's and don'ts in social media, I would encourage for you guys to look back at your post from years ago and delete or archive anything that you feel is inappropriate. Like if it does not resonate with who you are now, it does not need to be on your feed. So just keep that in mind. And of course, spread love, not hate. Let's keep social media a nice community. Let's help others learn through various content. Let's try and keep our space, our online space healthy. Let's try to keep it informative. Let's try and help out other people who may not be as knowledgeable as us when it comes to these social media platforms. Offer help when needed. And, again, if you feel that there is a certain type of content that you don't think is healthy for your mental health or physical health, what have you, just unfollow. No need to engage in unnecessary arguments. Choose your battles, and again, let's just all be positive and follow the guidelines. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Miss Isha. So now we are opening the floor for questions. So people, if you have questions for Miss Isha, just put it on our comment section. So ma'am, I'll go first. So while they're thinking of it, meron akong prepare na questions na ma'am. So for probe, do screening include Facebook background checks? And would a candidate's political, religious beliefs or standpoint affect his or her application?
Thank you, Shari. Okay, that's a really good question. So in Pro, we don't necessarily check your social media profile, so it's fine. However, there may be different instances in the future, so I can speak about that. Of course, your religious and political beliefs are your own, so we respect that. Again, at Probe, we respect our employees' diversity, so we respect differing opinions, so it's totally fine.
All right, thank you for that, Miss Isha. Another question from Maria Jovel Calatrava. Ma'am may ask if the profile account is private or locked. How can the employer check the profile background?
That's a good question. So this has been quite apparent recently. Yeah, a lot of people have been locking their profile. So that's actually a good thing to do, or like to just set your profiles in private. At least that way, the people you don't want to have access to your profile, they will have limited access. So this is actually a good question. So we have different social media platforms, right? It's not just Facebook. So you also have Instagram, you have Twitter, and professionally speaking, there's also LinkedIn. So I think it would help. Like, I know that you can lock your profiles, you can set it to private, so that's nice. But if your employer asks for maybe a better reference of your professional background, maybe just give them your LinkedIn. So I think that would be more than enough.
All right, thank you for that, ma'am. Ma'am, can we ask naman about Probe's list of vacancies? What are the openings that are available for fresh graduates and if you hire interns?
Um, for interns, it would help if you guys just send us your resume. So I think I'll just ask the team to post an internship post on Jobs 180. In terms of our vacancies, we are hiring customer service representatives. Of course, we have positions that are open that do not require experience. So I urge you guys to apply. So just visit jobs 180 slash probe. Apart from that, we're hiring if there are anyone if there's anyone in the audience that has prior BPO experience, we're hiring several cruise sales specialists, cruise reservations agents. So if you're interested, in the travel industry and you have the necessary communication skills, please feel free to apply. So yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Okay. Ma'am, thank you daw po from the COA team of RTU. They really liked your presentation. Sir Dom just commented. Ma'am,
Thank you.
we like this topic. I think we're gonna put it in a couple of ano pa, a couple of sessions from other universities. I think this went well kasi. So, we'll propose it to other schools. Ayan. So, thank you, Miss Isha. So, to our audience, if you have no more questions, the link for Probe is jobs180.com/probe. They are also available at schools.jobs180.com/RTU. So, that's where you see all of the vacancies from RTU's partners. Okay, nandun din sila. Alright? So, Miss Isha, on behalf of RTU CEO team and the jobs180.com, thank you for lending us your time, and we hope to invite you in the future. Future
Thank you,
events, future
Karen.
sessions. Thank you, Miss
Thank you,
Isha.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you. All right. So to our audience, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We have an evaluation for this event, so we will be putting it in the comment section, and we will also be putting it in the in the in the in the screen. Okay. But before we do that, we would like to invite Professor Greta Reyes, Unit Head for Cooperative Education Relations, to give us the closing remarks.
As we celebrate the World Teachers' Day, we would like to express our sincerest gratitude to the persons whom we collectively call our mentors, our teachers, trainers, and partners. In particular, we would like to take this opportunity to express our sincerest gratitude to Jobs 180, our loyal partner in this endeavor. Thank you also to the speakers who, despite their busy schedule, found time to share their experiences and expertise. This activity is indeed not possible without all of you. Through this series of webinars, we have gained a better understanding on the changes in the workplace, how students apply, dress up for an online interview, and prepare for interview questions. The industry speakers also had given us helpful advices and insights on how to develop strong work ethics, gave us an overview of the hiring process and the new normal, and the employee motivation to be productive and successful in the workplace. To our students who are about to take the part 2 of their OJT, our hope is that you always carry with you the learnings of this series of webinars, whichever you will decide to take, be it online or virtual OJT or participation in the alternative learning. We at the Cooperative Education Center will continue to provide you with relevant trainings despite the limitation that this pandemic has caused us. Rest assured, to ready you to the real world of work is our commitment to you. We hope that you also learn from our friends in the industry sector who are always willing to share their knowledge. There is an old adage in Filipino that says, ang palay ay parisan, habang nagkakalaman ay lalong nagpupugay. As we all reach our dreams and aspirations in life, the humbler we all should be. Maraming salamat po at magandang araw.
Maraming salamat din po, Prof. Reyes, no, for that closing remarks. So again, to our audience, to secure your attendance, we will be putting the evaluation link at the comment section, and we will also be flashing it here. So please don't forget to evaluate, and we hope you do it within the day. So while you're doing that, we'd also like to plug that jobs180.com will be having an exclusive virtual career fair for Optum Global Solutions. So the event is entitled Optum Open House. It will be on October 22 and 25. The event will start at 2 p.m. And what is the event? The event is an exclusive event for Optum. They will be bringing their recruiters. They will be putting in interviewers um, on the day to actively process applications. So if you are looking for internships, or if you're looking for a fresh entry level position after graduation, that's where you go. All right. So they will be hiring for full time and intern position. So kung available kayo, the registration is bit.ly/optum October 22 or Oct 25. Ayan. So, 2 dates yan. 2 days for the Optum Open House. Alright? So, if you are interested to checking out other details of this event, it's also available on our Facebook page. So kung gusto niyo tignan kung ano yung dadalhin niyo, ano yung mga itatanong, or ano yung requirements para maka-join dun sa virtual career fair na yon, punta lang kayo sa Facebook page ni Jocelyn. Right? So we would like to thank our sponsor CEO Group for being one of the sponsors for this event. You can check them out at Lazada or at Shopee or at the nearest mall in your area to shop for your corporate attire needs and for career opportunities. Their link is jobsunique.com/CEO. All right. So please watch out for the next set of webinars that we are hosting for other universities. So we are officially done with RTU. So see you again next semester. No, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng another round of sessions. We will be hosting a couple of webinars next week. So abangan nyo na lang sa Facebook page namin and you're welcome to join in those sessions. So feel free to join us. It's as usual for free. And if you want to learn, just join the session. All right. So to our audience, thank you so much for being here. And we hope to see more of you. All right. So thank you. Have a great afternoon. Stay safe.